Friends, I hear something in the distance. It sounds like the voice of a sunflower person. Friends, remember yesterday there were lots of sirens, and I suggested that maybe the Prime Minister was going someplace. There was Taka right outside my house. There was a car ramming incident. That's what the ambulances were for. The interesting thing is, I after recording Babylon Talmud, I went to get soup. It was mamish right down the block from the thing. I saw the ambulances and stuff. I thought it was a car accident, and I just kind of ignored it. I didn't realize it was like a whole thing. Well, today's Yom HaZikaron, when that's what we're commemorating today. Things like that. All right. Okay. Well, let's learn in the Zchus that everyone who needs their refuah shlema should have a refuah shlema, and that all of the people who have sacrificed themselves for the Yidden to be in Eretz Yisrael. Hopefully let's learn in their merit as well. All right. Today we're studying. Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Lamadal, Daf 34 of Masechta Sotah. Friends. Well, so we're starting Daf. So today's Daf Lamadal. It's a Gishmak Daf. What do you want me to tell you? Okay, we're going to start in Daf Lam Gimel Mid Beis. We were learning Daf Lamadal today. We're going to start in Daf Lam Gimel Mid Beis about 10 lines from the bottom. Toner Rabbanon. Ho. The rabbis taught, Ketzad over Yisrael Siyardin. How did the Yidden cross the Jordan? B'chol Yom, Aron Nosea Acher Shnei Degalim. So in general, the ark would travel after two of the flags. Right, there were like 4 flags. Right, the 12 tribes were divided into 4 sort of camps, and they had these flags. And it was 1 flag for every 3, right? Oops. We didn't start Bamidbar yet. That's what they talk about in Bamidbar. What do we have to? We did Tazria Mitzorah last week. So Achrimos. Alright, we're almost up to it. So what was it? It was like 4 flags, right? I hope. Anyways, so usually the Aron would pass after 2 of the flags. Ve'ayom Nosa Tchila. But that day when the Yidden crossed the Jordan, the Aron was out front. Shenemar, as the Pasuk says, Hine Aron Abris Odin Kol Haaretz, the Ark of the Covenant, the Master of all the land over the Fneichem, is passing before you. B'chol Yom Vayom Levim Nosin Es Aron. In general, the Levites, the Bnei Kehos, would carry the Aron. Vayom Nisa'u Kohanim. Today, the priests carried it. Shenemar, as the Pasuk says, V'hayu Kenoach Kapes Ragla Kehanim Nose Aron Hashem V'gomer. That it was when the soles of the feet of the priests went into the Jordan and it split. Yeah. Is it, I wonder. I don't know if I could probably look this up, but in Hebrew, is there a difference between like your foot and your leg? Is that just all regal? And is there a difference between like a hand and an arm? Is that just all like a yad? What do you guys think? Tani Rabbi Yossi, Omer says Rabbi Yossi, B'shloshim Mekomis Nasu Kohanim Esa Aron. There were 3 instances where the priests carried the ark. So our instance over here, when they crossed the Jordan. And when they circumambulated, Dennis, you like that? Jericho. And when the ark finally returned to its rightful place in the temple, when the temple was built. And when the feet of the priests entered into the Jordan, the water just started accumulating vertically. As the Pasuk says, that when the carriers of the ark entered into the Jordan, and all of the waters that were going downstream just began to just stand up, just pile up and up and up and up and up. One big pillar. How tall, how high was this wall of water? Shneim Osir Mil, Al Shneim Osir Mil. It was like a wall that was 12 mil high and 12 mil wide. Kineged Machne Yisrael, like the size of the camp of Israel. Right, the camp was 12 mil by 12 mil, and they passed through in their encampment formations, and the waters waited for them as they passed, and they were just piling up and up and up. Different Rabbi Yehuda, that's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. Amalei Rabbi Elazar ben Shimon, says Rabbi Elazar ben Shimon, Lidvarecha, according to you, Rabbi Yehuda, Adam kal or mayim kalim? Which travels faster, human beings or water? Water, rushing water travels faster than humans traveling in a camp. Okay, if that's the case, if, according to you, Rabbi Yehuda, they piled up to 12 mil, and then once they reached 12 mil, they crashed down. Well, since the waters are traveling faster than the people, they're going to crash down on the people before they finished passing through. No, rather, explains Rabbi Elazar ben Shimon, what happened was the water was just piling up in piles and piles and piles that went on for 300 mil. Not just 12 mil, 300 mil. Until all the kings of the east and the west saw all this big water pile up. Shenema, as the Apostle says, that when all the kings of the Amorites in the other side of the Jordan, Yama, in the western side of the Jordan, in Eretz Yisrael, and all of the kings of Canaan by the sea, how the Eibishter dried up the waters of the Jordan for the Yidden ad Avram until they passed through, vayimas levavim, and their hearts like melted. I think it's just like it was shver matzav for them. And they had no more spirit in the face of the approaching Yidden. And also Rachav Azona, when who was it? Kalev and Pinchas, I think, went as messengers of Yoshua, and they went to Jericho, and she said, Kishamainu that we heard how the Eibishter dried up the Yamsuf. The Yamsuf, when they left Egypt, they still hadn't gotten over that one. It says Vanishma Vayimas Levavenu v'lekama od v'gomer, and it says that their spirit was wiped when they heard that the Eibishter dried the sea of reeds for the Yidden when they left Egypt, and they've been very concerned ever since. Odom Bayardin, Amrulaim Yoshua, while they were walking through the Jordan, Yoshua says to them, Di'u ama'atim over Mesayardin, know what your mission is when you pass through the Jordan and get into Eretz Yisrael. It's under the condition that you move out the people living therein. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, that you have to move away the people that are living therein. If you do this gewaldig, and if not, well then water is going to come and drown Oseichem. My Oseichem. What does Oseichem mean? Osi v'eschem, me and you. Odom b'yardin, they were still in the Jordan. Amalei and Yoshua says to them, Harimu lachem ish even achas al shichmo l'mispar shiftei Yisrael v'geimer. And he says that you should take stones accounting for each of the tribes of Israel, i.e. 12 stones. Uchsiv, and it says, L'mantia zos oz b'kir b'chem, that it should be a sign for within your midst. Ki yish'alun b'neichem machur lemer, that when your children in the future ask, that what are these stones? Siman lebanim, it's a sign for them. Sha'avu avis asayarden, that the fathers passed through the Jordan. Odom bayarden Amalei and Yoshua, while they were still in the Jordan, Yoshua says to them, Sulachem mize mitoch ayarden mimatzav ragle kehanim, that take from the Jordan, from where the Kohanim are standing, Hochin shtemesu avonim, prepare 12 stones, v'avaitim osam imochim, and chap maran with you, ve'nachtem osam b'malon asher talinu ba'alayla v'gomer, and you leave them in the hotel that you're staying at tonight. Yochel b'chol malon v'malon. Is it possible that every place where they stayed, they took these stones? Tamalom asher talinu ba'alayla dafka, tonight. So in Gilgal. Omer Reb Yehuda says, Reb Yehuda Abu Chalafta, Reb Eliezer ben Masya, V'Chananya ben Chachinoi, Omdu al Osan Avon, they stood either on or by those stones, V'Sherim Kolachas V'Achas Shkula, Kaiboim Soy, and they measured that each stone weighed 40 sa'as, Uvigmire de Tuuna de Madli Inish Liksofe, that the weight that a person can pick up off the ground and put on their shoulders, Tilsa de Tuune Have is 1/3 of what they can hold if somebody else gives it to them to hold. Jordan, well, we're talking about the Jordan River, but also our chaver, how do you say chavera in like, Haimish? Or maybe I guess Haimish people aren't talking about chaveras, only about chavras. Chavras, a chavra. Or chavra Jordan lifts heavy things. So Jordan, does this? What do you say? It sounds right. That whatever you could pick up off the ground on your own is 1/3 of how much you could hold if somebody gives something to you. That's what the Gemara says. So all right, fine. Inish. So from this calculation, that when you pick something off the ground, it's 1/3 of how much you can hold if they give it to you. And we're saying that what they were able to pick up the ground with these stones was 40 sa'ah. So that means that a person can hold, if they give him 120 sa'ah. So then, that when the Meraglim, the spies, went into Eretz Yisrael, and they brought back with them a cluster of grapes and also figs and pomegranates, so that cluster of grapes was 960 sa'as. Shenemar, as the Apostle says, Vaisa'u bamot b'shnoim, that they carried the cluster on a pole with 2 people. Mimash b'shenemar bamot ein yodeh sheb'shnaim, from the fact that it says that it's on a pole, memela, it's with 2 people, 1 person on each side of the pole. Matam alomer b'shnaim. So why does it say 2? It's not 2 people. B'shnei motos. We're talking about 2 poles, which is 4 people. Amr Yitzchak tutani v'tutani tutani. Says Rabbi Yitzchak, no, it wasn't 2 poles. It was actually 4 poles. It was like different layers. So there were 4 poles, each one with 2 people carrying this one cluster, with this one humongous cluster. So you have 8 people. They were each helping each other carry it, right? Get it up on their shoulders and carry it. So if we're saying that each person can carry 120 sa'as times 8. Is 960. Fine. Where am I? HaKetzad Shmona nasu eshkol. So 8 of the spies carried a cluster of grapes. Echad nasa rimon. One of them carried a pomegranate. Vechad nasa te'ena. The other one carried a fig. All right. You got 8 people schlepping a cluster of grapes. You got some guy with a fig. All right. I feel like I would have. Maybe somehow I would have managed to get the fig job. Yoshua v'Kalev lo nasu klum. Oh wait, no, I'd rather be Yoshua v'Kalev. They didn't carry anything at all, and also they weren't part of the shtuyot. Lo nasu klum. They didn't carry anything. Joshua and Caleb. Either because they're very choshuv, so they didn't have to carry anything. Alternatively, because they didn't want anything to do with the mishagas that the other spies were involved in. Pligiba Reb Ami Reb Yitzchak Nafka. There's a machlokes between Reb Ami and Reb Yitzchak Nafka regarding the machlokes that we had earlier between Reb Yehuda and Reb Elazar Reb Shimon. Reb Yehuda said that the water piled up in a wall that was 12 mil by 12 mil, whereas Reb Elazar Reb Shimon said that it was piles upon piles 300 mil. So Chad Amar L'Divrei Reb Yehuda. So one opinion is that according to Reb Yehuda, Kachanayoson Ovru, they walked through in their encampment, right? 12 mil by 12 mil. The Divrei Reb Elazar Reb Shimon Baze Achar Zeh Ovru. But according to Reb Elazar Reb Shimon, they passed through in single file line. The other opinion is Bein Mar Vein Mar, that both according to Reb Yehuda and Reb Elazar Reb Shimon, Kachanayoson Ovru, they passed through in their normal encampments. Both according to Reb Elazar Reb Shimon and according to Reb Yehuda, they passed through in their normal encampments. Ma'asavar Adam Kal, Ma'asavar Mayim Kalim. So one opinion, either Rabbi Ami or Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha, is that a person moves as fast as water. The other opinion is that the water moves faster, right? So if you say that the water moves faster, so if you say that, right? So Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon's opinion is if you say that water moves faster, so then that would mean that would be like the opinion that both, according to Rabbi Yehuda and according to Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon, they passed by in the encampment, but because water moves faster, so that's why Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon said that it's going to pile up and pile up and pile up. But if you say that people could walk as fast as water, so then Rabbi Yehuda says it was just 12 mil, but Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon says that, but since they walked in single file line, that is why it kept on piling up and piling up more than 300 mil. All right, fine, very good. Okay. All right. Oh wait, sorry, I think I messed up a little bit there. That if you say that both of them passed by, wait, what? Oh, I see. What? Okay. Alright. Well, according to the second opinion, sorry, it's a little technical. According to the second opinion, that they both went through in the encampment, so Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon says that, yeah, but water moves really fast, so that's why it was 300 mil, whereas Rabbi Yehuda says that they could walk by in the same speed, and therefore, it's only 12 mil. Whereas I guess according to the other opinion where it says that they were in single file or whatever, I guess you could say that according to both of them, I guess maybe people walk equally as quickly as the water, just that because they were in single file, that is why it piled up according to Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon. I think that makes sense. Says the Gemara, Shlach l'cha anoshim. Pretty famous stuff. That at the beginning of Parashat Shlach, it says Shlach l'cha anoshim. Moshe, send for yourself spies. Omer Ishlach Shlach l'cha midaitcha. Send, if you want to send it on your own, but not from me. V'chi Adam, you can skip the next word zeh because then it's because we have a note that says you could skip it, and I think it makes more sense to skip it. V'chi Adam borer chelik ra la'atzmo. Would a person set himself up for failure? Why would they? Right, the Eibishter knows what's going to happen if the spies go. They're going to mess up big time, and therefore, why would the Eibishter set up a situation that's obviously going to fail? So instead, the Eibishter says, look, Moshe, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't suggest this. If you want to do it on your own. Right? So would a person ever, set himself up for failure? This is what the pasuk says, Vayita be'inai hadavar. Moses says that the matter was good in my eyes. Yeah, it was good in my eyes, but not in the eyes of the Eibishter. The people asked Moshe, they pleaded with him, let them go, and they will spy out the land for us. Says Rabbi Bar Abba that the spies only wanted to embarrass and degrade the land of Israel. It says by the Meraglim that they will spy out the land for us. That the moon will be ashamed and the sun will be embarrassed. That there was some negative stuff going on from beginning to end with the spies. These were the names of the spies. The Mate Ruvain, for the tribe of Reuben, Shamua ben Zakur. The fellow was named Shamua ben Zakur. Amr Bitzchak, Dovers and Masoris Be'adenu, Me'avosenu, says Rabbi Yitzchak that we have the following tradition from our fathers. Miraglim al Shem Maiseim Nikro. The spies had their names based on their actions. Now we only understand one of them, which is Sisr ben Michael. Sisr Shesasur Maisav Shal Kodesh Baruch Hu. His name is Sisr because he contradicted and hid the actions of God. Michael Sha'asa Atzma Mach, that he Ki'ilu made God as if he was weak. That Ki'ilu, he was showing that Eretz Yisrael, there's a bunch of giants there, and it's not worth our time going. We're just going to get killed. God isn't able to help us. It's a big mess there. So, Amr B'Yochanan says, B'Yochanan Ach Anu Nomar. We could also say Nachbi ben Vofsi, Nachbi shehichbi dvar shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he hid, I guess, the words of God. Vofsi shepisa al midosav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He skipped over the attributes of God. They weren't doing good stuff. Oh, so it says that they went up from the south, and he came to Chevron. What do you mean he came to Chevron? They came to Chevron. That Kalev separated himself from the scheming of the spies, and he went and he prostrated himself by the graves of the office. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, he says to them, Avosai, my fathers, Bakshu alei rachamim, pray for me, that I should be spared from the scheming of the spies. Yoshua kfar bikesh Moshe alav rachamim. Now Yoshua didn't need to go to Hebron because Moses already prayed for him. Shenemar's pasuk says, Vayikra Moshe loHoshea ben Yoshua. That Moshe called Hoshea, was his name at the time. He added the yud of Yoshua. That the Eibishter should save you from the scheming of the spies. This is what the pasuk says: that my servant Caleb, that since he had a different spirit in him, and he went and he didn't go with the scheming of the spies, and he prayed in Hebron. Okay. And there in Eretz Yisrael were these giants, Achimon, Sheshai, and Talmai. Achimon, in Hebron, where Achimon, Sheshai, and Talmai, his name is Achimon Miyuman Shebe'echov. He was the strongest of them, of the giant brothers. Sheshai, Shemesim Esaretz Kishchosos, that he made the land like pits, that wherever he would walk, he would make these huge pits in the ground as he walked. Talma Shemesim Esaretz Tlomim Tlomim, that he made the land like furrows and furrows as he would walk. He would move the dirt. Davar Acher Achimon Bana Anos, that Achimon built a place called Anos. Sheshai Bana Alush, that Sheshai built a place called Alush. Talmai Bana Talbush, and Talmai built a place called Talbush. The sons of the giants, but Anak is also like a necklace. Achas Anak was it? Achas Anak me Chavrosaich? Achas Anak me Chavrosaich? Is that a pasuk in Shir Hashirim? It means a necklace, that they would stand and then the sun would go around them as if it was like a necklace around their neck, something like that. So the pasuk says that Hebron was built 7 years before Mitzrayim. So my nivnasa, what does it mean that it was built 7 years before Egypt, before Tzoan Mitzrayim, right? What does it say? It says that Hebron was built 7 years before Tzoan in Egypt. So my nivnasa, what does it mean it was built? If it literally means that Hebron was built before Tzoan in Egypt, that doesn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense. That let's go right for a second. The pasuk says Kush u'Mitzrayim u'Fut v'Kenan v'Gomer. Right, that the pasuk says that the order of Cham's children were Kush, and then Mitzrayim, and then Fut, and then Kenan. So Kenan was younger than Mitzrayim. Therefore, would it make sense that that Hebron, which was in Canaan in Eretz Yisrael, was built before Tzoan in Mitzrayim? Mitzrayim was older. No, it was 7 times as geschmack, as gewaldig, as Tzoan. And it's ironic because you don't have rockier terrain in Eretz Yisrael, Yasur Michevin, more than Chevron. That Chevron is the rockiest terrain in Eretz Yisrael, and even the Kavri ba Shichve, that's why they use it for burial. And and you have the best land is Egypt. Shneimar kegan Hashem, like the garden of the Eibishter, ke'eretz Mitzrayim, like the land of Egypt. And in this gewaldige place that's called Mitzrayim, there's an even more gewaldige place in Egypt called Tzoan. That the officers were in Tzoan. And even so, Chevron is 7 times as good as Tzoan. Wow. Now the Gemara says, 1 second, was Chevron really all stony and rocky and stuff? v'hoksiv v'hi miketz aboim shana. But the pasuk says that it was after 40 years. V'yom Avshalom el Melech, that Avshalom says to the king, Elacha no v'gomer, let me go. V'omer Rav Avi v'itemer Rab Bar Bachana sheholach lahavi kvos michevin, that Avshalom was going to bring sheep from Chevron. V'tani elim mimoab kvos michevin, that rams come from Moab, but sheep come from Chevron. So why are you saying that Chevron is so rocky and stony? Apparently it's Geshmak, grazing land. To which the Gemara says, that's punkt the point. That's punkt the point. Mino, either the Klisha Ara, Avdarai, Vishamin Kinyon. That because the land, because it's so rocky and it's not like deep soil that's Geshmak for farming. It's thin and it's like grassy kind of stuff. So it's good for grazing sheep and making Geshmak sheep, but not good for, farming and plowing and doing all that kind of stuff. Friends, that's Daf Lamed Aleph, Masechta Sotah. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.